Hello and welcome to English Literature class of Standard 11. This is the class of literary terms and we are discussing about the poetic devices. Meantonomy. Meantonomy is the kind of metaphor. Here an object or the idea or another object are related with each other. So like the pen is mightier than the sword. So pen is related to knowledge, sword is related to strength, and they are directly related to each other. That is how they are used in that sentence. The pen is mightier than the sword. A figure of speech. Metonymy is a figure of speech in which the name of one object is substituted for another object which is closely associated with it. They are fighting for the chair. That is, they are fighting for the position or the power. The Nagpur bench of the High Court has dismissed the case. Means the judges have dismissed the case. But the word is substituted for them is Nagpur bench High Court. In this way, we can have the knowledge of metonymy. Rhythm created by stress patterns recurring at regular intervals of time. The different kinds of such recurrences are known as iambic, anapestic, trochaic, etc. We don't have to go in much details of what is meter. You should understand that meter is a rhythm that is created because of the stress of words. So stress syllables are pronounced loudly. For example, we can say that be happy, be positive, be you. Here be is to be given stress, happy, positive. So first letters are given louder. Next is don't search false, find remedies. Don't search false, don't first syllables are pronounced loudly. Next is cry, cry, Troy burns. Cry, cry, we have to say it in giving stress. Troy burns. This we have to do it to give the poetic effect for the lines. So, or else let Helen go. So, these kind of stressed rhythms are called as meter and they are different types of meters. So, this is known as meter. Myth is a traditional story, especially the one concerning the early history of people or explaining a natural or a social phenomena and typically involving supernatural beings or events like ancient Celtic myths. Now a widely held but a false belief or idea is called as myth. It helps us to uh, describe the ancient culture and also like for example mythical stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata are myths where Hanuman has the power to hold a mountain on his finger. So likewise unnatural powers with superheroes, that is myth. Ode is a long lyrical poem which has a serious subject and it is in elevated style and structure and also it is meant to be sung. Means a long poem that is meant to be sung is called as a ode. Onomatopoeia. This term is applied to a word or a combination of words whose sound seem to convey the meaning it wants to describe. So, for example, the aircraft crashed in the mountains. The word crash is describing the sound of how the aircraft has fell into the mountains. Likewise, his books were lying helter-skelter in the room, means his books were lying all throughout the room. So the word itself describes the sound and it describes the intensity of how the things are presented. Many words for the calls of the animals are onomatopoeic, that is the sounds of the animals are onomatopoeic. What sound they make, that sound itself describes their sound of that animal. For example, the cackle of the geese, the roar of the lion, the hiss of the snake. What sound these animals make, that is, those words are onomatopoeic. The whining of the words and so on. So likewise, the literary term onomatopoeic is the word that describes the sound of what thing it wants to convey. Oxymoron. Oxymoron is a kind of antithesis where two contradictory qualities go together. Means in oxymoron, it is that figure of speech in which the contradictory, that is the opposite terms, come together with a conjunction. Means they are compared together, and opposite sides are not presented, but they are combined together and they are presented. So oxymoron contains two opposite words, but they are in comparison with each other. For example, Socrates was a charmingly ugly man. Charmingly and ugly both are coming together, and the quality is described of one single person. I have such painfully joyous memories of my childhood. Painfully and joyous together are coming for memories. So two opposite things are coming together in the same sentence for showing the like terms of it. That is oxymoron. Paradox. Paradox is a statement which seems to be self-contradictory. Means the meaning of that sentence will be opposite when we read that sentence. Yet it tunes out to be a valid meaning. Means but the meaning is valid. So it is rather a deep statement if we say that he is a poor rich man. Means he is, how can a person be rich as well as poor? But what we are saying here is, we are saying that although he is rich in materialistic terms, but he is not satisfied, he is not contented. Similarly, we can say that she was victorious in her defeat. Means she had achieved victory even though she was defeated. So like this, two opposite words are compared for giving a certain meaning out of it, a deep meaning out of it. There is a method in his madness. Means anybody cannot be mad along with a method. So there is a method in his madness, it has a depth meaning for it, that is known as paradox. So two opposite words are used in the same sentence. So here the comparison is done between paradox and juxtaposition. Juxtaposition is a literary device where two contrasting elements are placed side by side, means together, and that too besides each other. But whereas in paradox, the phrase or a sentence where two contrasting ideas are used, and not, it is not necessary that the words, opposite words, should be one besides the other. So paradox is a type of juxtaposition, whereas you can make it from the word juxtaposition, that the words are placed one besides the other, position is there. It is a broad term of juxtaposition, so we are learning it along with paradox. Next is, it reveals a hidden or an unexpected truth. Means there is a hidden meaning for using that opposite words in the same sentence. Whereas in juxtaposition, there is, it compares the contrast of two things. So likewise, we have to remember these two things in a same manner: paradox and juxtaposition. Parody imitates the manner or the matter of a serious literary work, but the intention is to have fun or ridicule. Now here parody means the style of in which the literary work is written so as to give it a funny or a comic background. For example, here is the parody of a famous song, that is, these are a few of my favorite things. The sound from the movie The Sound of the Music. Now see here: Cadillacs and cataracts, hearing aids and glasses, polydent and fixodent, and false teeth and glasses. Now literal meanings of these words does not have any combination or relation to each other, but for poetic effect these words are joined together, and also they make a little bit of fun. It creates a funny atmosphere. Pacemakers, golf carts and porches with swings, these are a few of my favorite things. So all these words does not have a basic connection with each other, but still for poetic and for to sound great the words are put and joined together in the parody. Personification is when a non-human object is shown as possessing human qualities. Examples are the flowers were smiling and tossing their heads. So flowers is given life, and it is said that it, just like human beings, it was smiling and it was tossing its head. Again, the wind, the killer wind destroyed everything inside. The wind is said to be killer and it was destroying everything that came to its side. Next, another example of personification is an inanimate, that is a lifeless object, is shown as possessing a life of its own. For example, the sea roared and shook the ship like a rat. So sea is compared to a person and it was roaring and shaking the ship like a rat. The cold wind began to bite them into the to the bone. So the comparison of cold wind is said to be of certain person which was biting them like a to their bone. So this is the example. These are the examples of personification. We will wind up here. Thanks for watching the video. Meet you in the next class. Till then, goodbye.